Hello, my fine young artist friends, and welcome to Studio 37. This week we will be examining the artwork of world famous American filmmaker Tim Burton. You guys might be familiar with the work of Tim Burton because he makes movies that you might have seen, like A Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, or Frankenweenie. So we are going to delve into his work, looking at some of his early work, and talking about the stop motion animation process. We're going to look at German Expressionism, where Tim Burton finds his inspiration. And also, you are going to draw your own Tim Burton inspired self portrait. We're very fortunate this week to be joined by Miss Dunsmore from SIU. I will be doing the art history portion of the lesson, and she will be doing the drawing demonstration. So look forward to watching her as she learns to make videos and to teach you young guys. Without further ado, I'm going to send it over to my computer to examine the work of Tim Burton. So as promised, we're going to examine the artwork of American filmmaker Tim Burton, who brought to us many great films, including Batman, Beetlejuice, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie, Big Eyes, Big Fish, and many other films. So, one of the key components of Burton's films is the very dark yet inspiring stories, often with outcast characters. He's most famous as a director for films such as Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Corpse Bride. Burton's films are often set in a dark and grotesque gothic setting with outcast characters in leading positions. I'm thinking very specifically of Edward Scissorhands, which I just recently rewatched, and also Jack Skellington in A Nightmare Before Christmas. For this lesson, I want to focus on the stop-motion animation films that were either produced or directed by Tim Burton. So what is stop-motion animation? It is a painstaking animation process that requires a ton of skill and patience. The filmmakers move the model ever so slightly and take a photograph, taking thousands of pictures and playing them in order to give the appearance of the figures moving. Tim Burton's stop-motion films include Vincent, which was made all the way back in 1982, and I included a link to that in the 4th grade resources in the Burton folder. So if you want to watch his very first stop-motion film and really see where his aesthetic started, because it hasn't changed that much. Then he produced A Nightmare Before Christmas. He did not direct that because he was busy working on Batman Returns when that movie went into production. So he helped produce it, but did not direct that one. And of course, he did direct Corpse Bride in 2005, and then he remade his short film, Frankenweenie, as a black and white stop-motion film in 2012. And here is a picture of the set from Frankenweenie to give you an idea of what stop-motion animation looks like. So there's Tim Burton in the background, and these are all puppets that all have to be painstakingly modeled for each and every shot. And this set is actually based on Burton's California high school, and the characters in the movie are based on people he knew from high school, including his art teacher, which I thought was really interesting. A big influence on Tim Burton's work, no doubt, is German Expressionist film. This is a silent film movement that took place in Germany after World War I, before World War II. It was much more interested in conveying emotion rather than portraying reality, which was rather experimental and ahead of its time, considering this was the 1910s. And they did this through the distortion of set designs and extreme close-up of faces. And this had a tremendous impact not only on Tim Burton, but also early American horror films and the film noir movement. And here are some pictures from German Expressionist film. So the one on the top left, this is a very famous scene from the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which I think you can see these stretching figures in this weird, distorted shape, very much kind of reminiscent of the hill that Jack Skellington's walking down in A Nightmare Before Christmas. And this, of course, is a shadow from the famous vampire movie Nosferatu, which there's a direct quote of this shadow in both the film Vincent, which is linked in my videos, and the film Corpse Bride has that outreach shadow hand. And this is a shot from the film Metropolis, which was made in 1922. And this hustling, bustling Kind of reminds me of the Gotham of the Batman movies. I did include a video comparing Tim Burton's work to early German Expressionism in the resources folder if you're interested in learning more. So here are some of Tim Burton's very famous characters. This is Vincent from his very early short film, Vincent. This is Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. Here are the main characters in A Corpse Bride. Of course, I think you can see the strong resemblance between these two characters. And of course, all of these characters have that same trademark Tim Burton aesthetic. Long, slender neck, oversized head, great big eyes, pointy chin, little bitty nose, little bitty mouth. And of course, he also has a thing for spooky dogs, which were included in A Nightmare Before Christmas, A Corpse Bride, and Frankenweenie respectively. So hopefully this gives you some ideas on the characters you want to develop as a self-portrait in a Tim Burton style. For more inspiration, please watch the film where it's a very young Tim Burton being interviewed at Disney. Also, you can see Vincent in its entirety. There's a link to that film. And finally, there's also a short video comparing Tim Burton's work to that of German Expressionist film from the 19-teens and 1920s. Thank you for your time and attention, and have fun drawing with Miss Dunsmore.